Well, disgraced former anchor Chris Cuomo is seeking a whopping $125 million in compensation and an apology from CNN. The Liberal network terminated the primetime anchor in early December for his involvement in helping his brother, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, with sexual harassment allegations made against him. In August, New York Attorney General Letitia James's investigation into the embattled former New York governor found he had sexually harassed at least 11 female staff. It also found Chris Cuomo was CC'd in those emails about how best Governor Cuomo addressed the allegations. The report showed Chris helped write his brother's response in an email that mirrored one of Andrew's official statements last February. The evidence released by Ms. James found the journalist had been liaising with Governor Cuomo's top aide, Melissa DeRosa, about women coming forward with sexual harassment allegations. In one example, Ms. DeRosa asked Chris to check with his sources about one woman's allegations. He replied on it and then told the former aide he had a lead on the wedding girl, which was in reference to a woman who had accused the governor of sexual harassment at a wedding they had both attended. CNN originally suspended him for a week while the investigation was ongoing, but decided to terminate him. He has remained relatively out of the spotlight since the news broke. However, his attorneys are now seeking compensation worth $125 million. This includes $15 million for termination of contract, along with around $110 million on the grounds CNN failed to instruct CNN employees not to disparage Cuomo. In a statement by Chris Cuomo's lawyer, Brian Friedman, it read, "In fact, as the limited information released from WarnerMedia's investigation makes clear, CNN's highest level executives not only knew about Chris's involvement in helping his brother, but also actively assisted the governor, both through Chris and directly themselves." As CNN has admitted, network standards were changed in a calculated decision to boost ratings. When those practices were called into question, Chris was made the scapegoat. According to the filing, Chris says CNN allowed employees to retain their jobs over offences more egregious than anything CNN alleges Cuomo did. This is the epitome of hypocrisy, as there was no valid basis for terminating his contract. The former anchor also threw former bosses Jeff Zucker and Alison Gollust under the bus. Zucker and Gollust acted as advisors to Governor Cuomo during this time by giving him talking points and strategies for responding to statements made by then-President Donald Trump. Notably, for years, CNN did not discipline Gollust or Zucker for their egregious violations of CNN policy, including both Gollust and Zucker using their privileged access to Governor Cuomo to secure COVID tests. Zucker and Gollust were fully aware of the scope of Cuomo's assistance to Governor Cuomo, and Chris Cuomo had no reason to believe that his assistance to Governor Cuomo was inconsistent with CNN's policies. Chris Cuomo then took aim at his former colleagues Don Lemon and Jake Tapper. As long as Zucker and Gollust believed CNN's ratings would benefit, they were more than willing to disregard breaches of traditional journalistic standards by CNN personalities such as Don Lemon and Jake Tapper, or even engage in blatant breaches of journalistic ethics themselves. Fox News contributor Joe Concha roasted the former anchor for requesting for so much money.
On what planet does Chris Cuomo think that he's worth $125 million? He finished a distant third, right, against other competition, including Sean Hannity on this network in his particular time slot. But this is a guy, he got COVID, right? And then went on the air every night to talk about how sick he was, and then faked his own quarantine to try to get ratings. This is a guy who literally left his home and got into a screaming match with a 60-something-year-old guy who was biking by, who called him out for saying, "Hey, Chris, you were just on the air last night talking about how you had a fever and you had chills and you were still sick. What are you doing out?" And Cuomo gets into a screaming match with him. Chris Cuomo also is a guy who helped his brother not only cover up a COVID nursing home scandal that Janice Dean knows very well about. I'd love for her to join me right now because she can talk more about that, but also advised his brother on how to discredit credible accusers of sexual harassment against him, all while having allegations against himself as well. But on the other side of this, Chris Cuomo is accusing those currently at the network, including Jake Tapper, Don Lemon, Brian Stetzler, of running a smear campaign against him after he was fired. So there are no good guys or girls here, as I said, and this is only going to get messier for CNN as its collapse now apparently is complete.
Social media users took to Twitter to discuss Chris Cuomo's decision to seek the money. One person wrote, Chris Cuomo is suing CNN for $125 million in damages, claiming his termination hurt his journalistic credibility. Seriously, all kidding aside, he had no journalistic credibility going on. What planet is this clown living on? Another said, it's awful and extremely loathsome what Chris Cuomo did, and he should have absolutely been fired, but it's probably in CNN's interest to just pay him. The stuff that's coming out about the other anchors and management is completely eroding whatever credibility they have left. Finally, how the mighty have fallen. Chris Cuomo, you're a grown man. You made your bed, now you have to lay in it. Don't try to drag other people down in the dirt with you now, especially Don. That's just low. Man up.